Okay, mathematicians, today we are going to be solving our two-step equations, which you actually have been doing this. You've just been doing them separately. Remember we did one-step equations, we were doing addition and subtraction, and then we did multiplication and division. Well, today we're going to put them together, and we're going to follow those same rules. So, an equation, remember this, an equation is a statement that one expression is equal to another. It contains an equal sign. When we go through this, make sure that we remember some of our terms here. Remember, a variable term is the part of the equation that has the variable in it. And then our constant term is the one that is just the number. And remember, we use the sign in front of it. So in this case, our constant term is a -1, right? And over here, our variable term is the 3x. So in this case, the variable term in an equation includes the variable as a factor. The constant term in an equation does not include a variable. In other words, it's just the number, just number. The goal when solving an equation is to isolate the variable. We want the variable all by itself, which means it has to have a 1 in front of it, by using our inverse operations. Remember, addition undoes subtraction, multiplication undoes division, and vice versa. So we're going to be using inverse operations to reverse the order of operations. This allows you to transform the equation into an x equals whatever number that you find as part of your solution. So remember, we're going to eliminate the constant term, so make it 0. And then we're going to eliminate the coefficient, which means we are going to make a 1. Oops, forgot 0. Make a 1. And I'll remind you as we go through this. So remember, you even have this in your notes if you need to. I have my little card, but I left it in the classroom, so I have to, I'll kind of talk you through it. Okay, so here we go, model problem. Notice I have an x divided by 6 minus 8 equals equals 22. I am going to draw my line to help me remember whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Now remember, we're going to eliminate the constant. We're going to make this a 0 by adding its opposite. The opposite of positive 8 is, the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. Those become a 0, and I'm done with that piece. Now, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. I'm going to add 8. Now, the key here is to rewrite, and I'm always going to put that little RW right here. Rewrite the problem. This is messy. I don't want to get lost in it. So I still have my x divided by 6 is equal to 22 plus 8 is 30. Now, I want this coefficient to be 1. If you need to remember, I'm going to put this over here. Remember that x over 6 is the same thing as 1/6 x. Remember, I can pull that out, right? I can pull the, remember there is actually an invisible one right there, right? So I pulled the numbers out away from the variable just so I understand it a little bit better. I need this to be a 1. That means I need to multiply by 6. This is divide by 6, so I'm going to multiply by 6. They actually become a 1. So I'm just going to cross them out and put a 1. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other, so I'm going to multiply by 6. Now remember, if you remember your numbers, how numbers go together, 3 times 6 is 18, plus I have my 0, so it's 180. So if 6 times 3 is 18, then 6 times 30 is 180. So, and now I have x. And my problem is done. Let's go ahead and do one more on the back side. I just showed you how to do a number 1. Number 2 looks a little bit different, so let's go ahead and do number 2. Remember, we're still isolating the variable. I am going to draw my lines. I notice that my constant is a positive 5. I want that to be a 0. So I'm going to subtract 5. That becomes a 0. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Subtract 5 from both sides. I am going to rewrite the problem, just so it's not so messy. I still have a 3x. I have a 35, take away 5, which is 30. And now I need this constant, or sorry, this coefficient to become a 1. Since this is 3 times x, I'm going to divide by 3. Notice I now have a 1 there, right? Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Divide by 3. And I know that x equals 30 divided by 3 is 10. And I am done with my problem. So go ahead and get started. Remember that I am here to help if I can, and Edward knows how to do this, and even Ruben can help you. Seek help if you need it. Come and check with us. Good luck.